Good afternoon, commissioners.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing really well. It's not raining. It's actually absolutely gorgeous out. And I just came from a site visit at Pullman. It is amazing down there. Absolutely amazing.
Can't wait to see it.
Oh, it's the renovation of the NPS visitor center is just incredible. I mean, from what it used to be, and now it's absolutely gorgeous. So.
I've not been in a while, so that's a great excuse to go.
Oh, it is. Yeah, they're going to get they will have their all the exhibits in a couple weeks, so they'll be opening soon.
I haven't been there in quite a while either, so I'm excited.
Yeah, just fantastic. You'll be shocked at the changes. All right, it's 12:45, and we are now being recorded. So, with that, I'm going to call this meeting to order. I will do a roll call. If you could announce that you are here and you can see and hear me, that would be fantastic. So I'll start with Commissioner Burns.
Here, I can see and hear you.
Commissioner Osmond.
Here, I can see and hear you.
Commissioner Hughes.
Present, I can see and hear you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cox, I think, is traveling today. Commissioner Aguirre.
Here I can see you and hear you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jekowitz.
Here, I can see and hear you.
Commissioner Ponce.
Yes, I'm here. I can see and hear you.
Thank you. Commissioner Tolliver.
Here, I can see and hear you.
Thank you. I am Commissioner Wong. We do have a quorum. So, initiated last year and extended June 25th, 2021, Governor Pritzker signed Public Act 101-0640, making certain amendments to the Open Meetings Act so that we, along with other boards and commissions, can continue to host virtual meetings during this COVID-19 public health emergency, provided that certain conditions are met. One of those conditions is that I, as head of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks, determine that an in-person meeting of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks and its permanent review committee are not practical or prudent. I want to make sure that our virtual meeting meets all the conditions of the Open Meetings Act as amended. Therefore, I'm making a determination pursuant to Section 7E2 of the Open Meetings Act that an in-person meeting of this Commission on Chicago Landmarks and its permanent review committee is not practical or prudent. Similarly, I'm also making a determination pursuant to Section 7E5 that because of the disasters declared by the governor, it's unfeasible for at least one member of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks or its chief administrative officer or its chief legal officer to be physically present at the meeting place or for either meeting. Pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Commission on Chicago Landmarks on June 4th, 2020, regarding the chairman's emergency rulemaking powers, I issued emergency rules governing the conduct of remote public commission meetings and provisions for remote public participation effective January 19th, 2021. These rules were posted on the Commission's website. In line with these emergency rules, today's regular Commission meeting is a virtual meeting being simulcast to the general public via live stream. Commission meetings have been held virtually since May of last year. Meetings are structured to minimize the chances for technical difficulties. Members of the general public has been encouraged to submit written statements in advance of the meeting, and these have been posted on the Commission's website and are available for public view during the virtual meeting at www.chicago.gov/CCL. Members of the public desiring to speak at today's meetings were required to register before the meeting, and verbal statements by the public for all agenda items will take place at the beginning of the meeting. Applicants and their representatives, as well as aldermen, were asked to contact staff if they desire to speak, and they will be able to do so after the staff presentation on a specific project. I want to state that two members of the general public signed up to speak as of deadline of 12:45 on June 29th, on Tuesday, June 29th, and were provided instructions regarding how to do so. I'd like to call upon these people now. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Begin by stating your name and association you represent, if any, for the record. One person signed up to speak about agenda item number 2, the report from the Department of Planning and Development for the Monastery of the Holy Cross. And if I could hear from Max Chavez, please.
Hi there, can you hear me?
We sure can. Thank you.
Wonderful. Chairman Wong and members of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks, my name is Max Chavez. I'm Director of Research and Special Projects for Preservation Chicago, and I am speaking today to restate our enthusiastic support for the potential landmark designation of Bridgeport's Monastery of the Holy Cross, originally Immaculate Conception Church at 3101 to 3111 South Aberdeen. This very special church, built between 1908 and 1909 and designed by German immigrant Hermann J. Gall, was, like many of Gall's designs, built as a commission for the German Roman Catholic community of Chicago. It quickly became a thriving and vibrant hub, both social and religious, for Bridgeport's robust German population. Today, it is the last German National Parish church building remaining in Bridgeport. Outside of its historical and cultural significance, the church and its adjoining rectory are absolutely beautiful, and both serve as elegant visual landmarks on this Bridgeport street corner. Gall magnificently executed this church in the Gothic Revival style, with Germanic architectural cues as an homage to the homeland that he shared with the church's parishioners. From the exterior, the most noticeable feature is the church's lofty steeple, which features gargoyles and impressive finials. The facade also boasts wonderful tracery set inside of tall lancet windows, high pointed gables, and carved statuary. But not to be outdone, the church's interiors are similarly breathtaking. The nave's high vaulted ceilings and glowing stained glass windows, many of which were produced by Austria's Tyrolese Art Glass Company, offer an environment of calm and comfort, a peaceful sanctuary amid a bustling city. The church is also one of Gall's most accomplished designs, an impressive achievement given that he is the man behind some of the most stunning buildings in our city, such as St. Benedict Church on Irving Park Road and the wonderful Athenaeum Theater on North Southport. Many of his works are also honored in the Chicago Historic Resources Survey and the National Register of Historic Places, demonstrating that Gall is an essential architect of his time, and the Monastery of the Holy Cross one of his grandest works. We have an important opportunity here to landmark and elevate an exceptional house of worship, a class of buildings that grows increasingly threatened and endangered in Chicago. An official landmark designation here would unequivocally signify our collective commitment to recognizing and preserving our city's irreplaceable religious and architectural history. Once more, we extend our grateful thanks to the Department of Planning and Development for their help in bringing the Monastery of the Holy Cross before the Commission for landmark designation consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. Now we'd like to hear from the person who signed up to speak regarding agenda item number 3, the report from the Department of Planning and Development for the Muddy Waters House. And that would be Mr. Miller, Ward Miller. If you could let us know what you're thinking. Thanks.
Can you hear me clearly, Mr. Chairman?
We sure can.
Good afternoon, Chairman Wong and members of the Commission. I'm Ward Miller with Preservation Chicago. Our organization, Preservation Chicago, is very pleased to support the recommendation of the Muddy Waters House, located at 4339 South Lake Park Avenue, as a designated Chicago landmark. While the home is located on South Lake Park Avenue and is already in the North Kenwood Landmark District, the house is individually more significant for its associations with legendary musician McKinley Morganfield, better known to the world as Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters, recognized as the father of modern Chicago blues, moved to the home, which he purchased in 1954. The building soon became not only his residence, but a place which hosted legendary musicians, visiting and working together while often living together between various levels of the house. This extended from the basement, where the new music was created and hosted various jam sessions, to the first floor, which was the family's primary residence, and the second floor apartment, which often housed visiting guest musicians. Together, these artists, along with the highly talented and legendary Muddy Waters, worked to craft a new music and a new genre, which became synonymous with Chicago. We at Preservation Chicago fully support the Chicago landmark designation of the Muddy Waters House, along with the findings in the report of the Department of Planning and Development. We also look forward to the building joining Chicago's esteemed list of world-renowned landmark buildings. Our many thanks to Ms. Chandra Cooper, Muddy Waters' great-granddaughter, and her family for the vision of preserving and landmarking this house with such an incredible history. Also, Ms. Cooper's commitment to restoring the building and the creation of a museum celebrating this artistic, musical, and cultural history that is so much a part of Chicago and its legacy. And we at Preservation Chicago want to continue to encourage that the city nominate more of these homes belonging and honoring these many musicians, part of Chicago's musical history, and consider designations of homes once belonging to such individuals as Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole, Mahalia Jackson, and others all around Chicago. We also separately and unrelated wanted to encourage the city of Chicago and the Landmarks Commission to move on some of the many Catholic churches that are closing, encourage a landmark designation of some of these remarkable buildings, as there are appeals in Rome challenging these closings, and the preservation of these buildings, which are cornerstones in their community, is paramount, and that would also help the appeals process. So we wanted to put in a plug for so many of these, which have just closed, with Corpus Christi and Bronzeville being the latest to close. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. That's all of the members of the general public who have signed up to speak for the commission meeting. We'll now move through the agenda. First item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, the regular meeting of June 3rd, 2021. Those were included in your packets. I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2021 commission meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Tolliver. Is there a second?
Seconded, Commissioner Osmond.
Commissioner Osmond seconds. Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Aguirre,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackwitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Ponce,
Yes.
and I am in favor as well. The motion carries unanimously. Okay, second item on the agenda is the report from the Department of Planning and Development for the Monastery of the Holy Cross, formerly Immaculate Conception Church at 3101 South Aberdeen Street in the 11th Ward. And Dan Kleiber, tell us what's going on.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We sure can.
Great. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Department of Planning and Development finds that the proposed landmark designation of the Monastery of the Holy Cross supports the city's overall planning goals for the surrounding Bridgeport community area and is consistent with the city's governing policies and plans. Since its opening in 1909, the building has served as an important center of worship for the community and pedestrian anchor at the corner of West 31st Street and South Aberdeen Street. Originally a Roman Catholic parish known as Immaculate Conception, the prominent Gothic Revival style building was the achievement of a predominantly German-speaking parish, which was founded in 1883. In 2018, Father Peter Funk, on behalf of the current owner of the building, the Monastery of the Holy Cross, suggested to the Landmarks Commission Program Committee that the building be designated a Chicago landmark. DPD's recent planning and various public investment projects in the broader area are consistent with the proposed landmark designation. Adding to the vibrancy in the area is recent retail investment in the 3100 block of South Halsted on formerly city-owned land, as well as a streetscape project along South Morgan Street between 31st and 35th Streets, supporting local business and pedestrian activity. Moreover, a new Amazon warehouse at 2420 South Halsted will leverage private investment for Chicago River pedestrian improvements, adding to the area's recreational strengths, along with the continued success of Palmisano Park, constructed on the site of a former quarry. The designation would join 3 other designated Chicago landmarks located in Bridgeport, including the site of the origin of the Illinois and Michigan Canal, designated in 1996, the Chicago and Alton Railway Bridge, designated in 2007, and the Spiegel Administration Building, designated in 2011. Therefore, in conclusion, landmark designation of the Monastery of the Holy Cross supports the city's overall planning goals for Chicago's Bridgeport community area, is consistent with the city's governing policies and plans, and reinforces the reality that historic neighborhood assets can continue to serve as anchors of community life. And that concludes the report.
Thank you, Dan. Are there any questions for Dan from the commission? I don't see anybody. Therefore, I'd like to call for a motion to accept the department's report for the Monastery of the Holy Cross, formerly Immaculate Conception Church. Is there a motion?
So move, Commissioner Aguirre.
Commissioner Aguirre, motion,
Second it.
and second by
Hughes.
Commissioner Hughes. Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Osmond,
Yes.
Commissioner Jekowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Ponce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolliver,
Yes.
and I'm also in agreement. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Dan. Okay. And moving right through this. The next item on the agenda is a report from the Department of Planning and Development for the Muddy Waters House at 4339 South Lake Park Avenue in the 4th Ward. And Kendall Hahn, this is yours.
Chairman Wong, just to make sure you can hear me.
We sure can. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. So the Department of Planning and Development was asked to submit a report to the Commission regarding the proposed individual landmark designation of 4339 South Lake Park Avenue, the residence of Chicago blues icon Muddy Waters from 1954 to 1973. You'll recall the Commission preliminarily found the home met landmark criteria for cultural heritage and its connection to a person who significantly contributed to the cultural development of the city of Chicago and the US at their April 1st meeting. Currently, the property is a contributing building to the North Kenwood Multiple Resource District, landmarked in 1993. The home is located south of 43rd Street, approximately 4 blocks east of Cottage Grove, within the Kenwood community area, and also within the boundaries of Bronzeville, one of 10 priority communities selected as a part of the initial phase of Mayor Lightfoot's Invest Southwest Commercial Corridor Improvement Strategy. Launched in October 2019, Invest Southwest's goal is to reactivate neighborhood cores that have historically served as focal points for pedestrian activity, shopping, services, transportation, public spaces, and quality of life amenities for residents. Invest Southwest looks to focus on strengths in communities like Bronzeville, including existing community plans and existing neighborhood services and anchors. A 2005 quality of life plan for the area by the Quad Communities Development Corporation noted that history is a powerful asset that residents hope to build on, and included a goal to beautify the neighborhood through enhancement grants, additional city investments, cleanups, artistic treatments of shopping streets and buildings, and preservation of historic architecture. In addition, the plan noted the area's rich legacy of African American arts and culture, which can serve as the foundation for developing the area as a 21st century cultural and historic destination. Individual landmark designation of the Muddy Waters home further positions this historic asset to become a neighborhood anchor. As part of the city's investment strategy, 2 RFPs have been issued within Bronzeville thus far, each within 1.5 miles of the Waters home. One is for development of a 26,000 square foot city-owned site at 47th and Vincennes Avenue. The other is for the rehabilitation of the historic former 3rd Ward Streets and sanitation facility at 50th and Wabash Avenue for commercial, retail, residential, or nonprofit uses. Therefore, the Department of Planning and Development finds that the proposed individual landmark designation of the Muddy Waters House at 4339 South Lake Park Avenue supports the city's overall planning goals for the Kenwood community area in the Southeast Planning Region and is consistent with the city's governing policies and plans. And additionally, I wanted to let you know that Alderman King is not able to attend today's meeting, but did provide a letter of support for the individual landmark designation this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kendall. That's great. I'm glad things have been working out. Are there any questions or comments from the commission of Kendall? regarding this item? If not, I'd like to request a motion to accept the department's report for the Muddy Waters House. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner
Second.
Hughes moves. Second.
Second, Commissioner Jakevich.
Thank you. Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Osmond,
yes,
Commissioner Aguirre,
Yes.
Commissioner Ponce,
Yes,
Commissioner Tolliver,
Yes,
and I am a yes also. The motion carries unanimously. This is great. We're on a roll here.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is the Class L property tax incentive application for the Morton Salt Company Warehouse Complex. This is located at 1357 North Elston Avenue in the 27th Ward. And Deanna, you're going to give us the details on this.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep.
1357 Property Owner LLC has submitted an application for the Class L property tax incentive for the Morton Salt Company Warehouse Complex. The complex was built in 1930 and designed by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White. The owner intends to adapt the riverfront site from the former heavy industrial use for mixed use, office, commercial, retail, and entertainment purposes. The complex was designated a Chicago landmark by the City Council last Friday, June 25th, 2021. Next slide, please. The project scope of work was reviewed and conditionally approved by the Permit Review Committee on October 1st, 2020. The West Shed building is proposed to become a live music and event venue. The interior build-out includes a performance stage and backstage rooms and a freestanding structure with sloped theater seating. Work to the shed also includes structural steel stabilization and repairs as needed, installation of new roof panel system, construction of a raised one-story addition to the east elevation, and other work. The painted Morton Salt sign on the west slope of the shed roof will be replicated. The packaging buildings stand north of and attached to the shed building. The second floor of the packaging buildings will be occupied by Morton Salt's research and development facility. The first floor is being marketed for complementary uses. A raised concrete loading dock and wood frame canopy projecting from the west elevation will be repaired, and ADA ramps and stairs will be added. Masonry infill at original window openings will be removed and new windows and doors installed on all elevations. Masonry repairs and cleaning will be performed on all elevations of the complex. The garage building is being marketed to food and beverage businesses. Masonry repairs, cleaning, roof and skylight repairs, new windows and doors will be completed on the exterior. Interior work to the garage building includes cleaning of surfaces, addition and distribution of new plumbing, electrical, and life safety systems, and preparing walls and floors ready for tenant build out. All new mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection systems will be installed throughout the complex. The remaining structural steel trusses of the former east shed and structural steel supports of the former conveyor will be retained in place and repaired. Concrete repairs will be performed as needed. New curbs, gutters, sidewalks, fencing, gates, site work, and landscaping will be installed. The project will comply with the sustainable policy requirements. The Class L improvements are estimated to be completed by the summer of 2022. The minimum investment required for eligibility for the Class L is just under $1 million. The applicant will be spending $15.9 million, almost $16 million in qualifying rehabilitation expenses for the building as part of the project. Total project costs are estimated to be $45.7 million. A tax analysis has been prepared to estimate the value of the incentive to the applicant. The current annual taxes for the property are just under $98,000. Estimated property taxes over the 12-year period with rehabilitation of the property, but with no Class L incentive, are estimated 9.4 million net present value. Estimated property taxes over the same period with the Class L incentive in place are estimated at 4.3 million net present value. During the 12 years that the Class L is in place, the property is estimated to generate approximately 4.5 million more in taxes than if the building had not been rehabilitated. After the Class L period, annual taxes for the property are estimated to be 1.6 million or 1.4 million more than if the building were not rehabilitated. DPD has estimated that the total tax abatement to the applicant over the 12 years on the incentive is 7 million or 5 million net present value. Staff recommends approval of the request for the Class L incentive for the project, and a draft recommendation was in your packets. Alderman Burnett has provided a letter of support for the project, and representatives of the applicant are here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. Are there any questions from the commission of Deanna on this item? Seeing none, is the owner's representative is here, Tyler Quast. Would you like to make a statement? Or Katie?
Jump in there. For the record, Katie Janke-Dale from DLA Piper. I'm the attorney for the applicant. Tyler is also on. I know this has been before the commission a couple times before for designation. We just want to thank staff for all their hard work on this project to get us here today. And Tyler and his colleague Dave and I are all available for any questions. But thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Katie. Does the commission have any questions regarding this item? Of Katie, the applicant, Deanna? Oh, great. Commissioner Burns.
Hi, thank you, Chairman. I have a question for Deanna first. I just think you didn't see me raise my hand. Deanna, could you just confirm that this property received official landmark designation last month? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, it was approved by City Council last Friday.
Great, thank you so much. And then I'm curious to hear a little bit more from the developer, if there's a representative available, or from the attorney about the environmentally sensitive aspects of the project. In the report that was submitted, there's the point system, but I'm curious about a little bit more on that, and in particular, the river sensitive design elements of the proposed project, and what portion of that would the proposed grant support. Thank you.
Absolutely. Are you asking about the sustainability, the strategy to achieve the points required?
Yes, and just a little bit more about what are the specifics of that, and in particular, what specifics will align with river sensitive design guidelines, like setback, the seawall issues, potentially habitat, whatever you can speak to would be great to hear just a little bit about. Thank you.
Great. Deanna, are you able to pull up the slides again to go back to the sustainability slide? And I think with that, I'd ask if he's available, if Tyler wants to chime in on the sustainable approach, as well as this project also went through a plan development process, which included review by various river advocacy groups in the city. But we can also go to a site plan and walk through those. If you're able to unmute, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to ask my associate Dave Boyer to hop on as well, because he's directly involved on project management, head of construction on this project, and could probably be better, more well-versed to address this directly.
Joyce, if you could share the screen again. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. We have another person in the office sharing screen. And if you could go to the slide prior to this. Thank you.
So I think this is, and not knowing if Dave's going to be able to hop on or not, but in any event, we are doing the Riverwalk application, which will be along our entire frontage. We have just done our new Riverwall in the interim, the Riverwalk as an association with that. We are doing bike sharing. We are doing EV charging stations. We're working within all of the point system that was laid out to us based on DPD and our PD amendment that was part of the application here. More directly environmentally sensitive. We are capping the entire site from an environmental perspective, as well as we are working with W and MBE applications within the workforce as well.
While you're on the slide, could you explain to me the difference between a working landscape and a natural landscape?
I don't know the answer to that question directly.
I'm going to have to ask my staff. I've never heard that. Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? I do not see any other hands. Okay. Thank you very much, folks. If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like to request a motion to approve the recommendation to the City Council for the Class L property tax incentive for the Morton Salt Company Warehouse Complex. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
There was some moved by Commissioner Tolliver. Who was the second? Who was the other person who moved?
Second by Commissioner Osman.
Thank you. Commissioner Osmond seconds. Commissioner Burns.
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Aguirre.
Yes.
Commissioner Jekowitz.
Yes.
Commissioner Ponce.
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. The motion carries unanimously. Great job, folks, and good luck. Can't wait to see how that all rolls out.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the schedule for a virtual public hearing on proposed landmark designation pursuant to 2-120-670 through 2-120-680 of the Municipal Code announcement. This is the Halsted Willow Group, Wards 2 and 43, located at 1726 to 1808 North Halsted Street, 1727 to 1733 North Halsted Street. Those are the odd numbers. 800 to 812 West Willow Street, even numbers, and 745 to 813 West Willow Street. Those are the odd numbers on that street. So the announcement is that a public hearing will be held on Monday, July 12th at 1:00 p.m. Commissioner Hughes will be the hearing officer. The public hearing will be held virtually. Details and deadlines for participation and for viewing the public hearing are available at www.chicago.gov/CCL. Okay, finally, let's see the report. Where are we? The report and project review from the June 3rd, 2021 Permit Review Committee meeting. And I'd like to call on Commissioner Aguirre for the report on the projects reviewed at the June 3rd meeting.
Thank you, Chairman Wong. The Permit Review Committee reviewed 3 projects at its June 3rd, 2021 meeting. All 3 projects were approved with conditions, and the report summarizing the scope and of the proposed projects and the committee's decision was included in your packets. This report is for your information and for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Aguirre. And then Larry, do you have the report?
I sure do. For the month of June, staff reviewed 185 permit applications. 3 of these applications relate to projects reviewed by the Permit Review Committee. A total of 196 reviews were performed by staff. The average number of days to issue the approval or corrections was 2.6 days. Staff also reviewed 14 sign applications during that time.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Larry or Commissioner Gary? And seeing none, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn. Well, before that, I will like to make an announcement that I believe this may be our last virtual meeting. We're going to be going into in-person meetings. August, are we doing a meeting in August? I know there's not a city council meeting.
Yes, Commissioner, Chairman Wong, we are doing one the first Thursday in August.
First Thursday in August, okay. So I guess I'm gonna have to find my suit pants and my shoes. And
Are we gonna have our blue backgrounds in person as well? I think I'm gonna miss that. This
I know, right?
blue grid on my screen.
Yeah, don't delete that, please.
I'll bring a board behind me and
Good.
to,
Maybe
like,
we should just put a
transition.
date on that. The pandemic year. And that is I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor? Just say aye.
Aye.
Anybody? Nobody is opposed? Great. And the Permit Review Committee meeting will begin at?
Would it be possible to begin at 1:30, everyone?
Yep.
Okay.
Wonderful. I'll see
There
you.
you
We'll see
go.
you at 1:30.
We're flying. Yes.
All
Let's
right.
keep the same energy.
Yep, you got it. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.